How's it going, everybody? Today I'm going to be talking about line types, and I got the idea for this video when I had a conversation with one of my customers at Bass Pro. Yes, I work at Bass Pro. It's an awesome job. So we're going to talk about 3 different line types: fluorocarbon, mono, and of course, braid. So to be completely honest, I have not used braid or fluorocarbon as much as I should. I just recently started using fluorocarbon this year, and this is not straight fluorocarbon. This is P-Line FluoroClear, which is basically a mono-based product that is fluorocarbon coated. However, I do notice a big difference between the mono and this FluoroClear. So the one thing I really noticed about this FluoroClear is the incredible castability. I was using mono on my bait caster before, and I was getting backlashes like crazy last year. And I ended up switching to this P-Line, and I have not had a single problem with backlashes, not once. And I really like that fact about this. I've never actually used straight fluorocarbon. This FluoroClear is pretty close, and it's a fraction of the price of fluorocarbon, so I really like this. It is a mono-based product, but it is fluorocarbon coated, and it works really well for me. So some of the characteristics about fluorocarbon is that number one, it sinks, and this is going to be really good for spinnerbait fishing, crankbait fishing, plastics, jigs, you name it, anything that's not a topwater. That's what fluorocarbon is really good for. Number two is that it's really low visibility to the fish because of the thinness of the line. It's thinner than mono, it's thinner than braid, and it works all around for just about everything. I find that the fluorocarbon tends to have a really good sensitivity. Unlike braid or mono, those two really don't, honestly. And this allows me to feel just about everything. When I'm dragging something across the bottom, I can feel just about everything. And I really like that fact about this. So a couple of downsides to this is that fluorocarbon is pretty expensive. I know that the average price for like 300 yards is like $20 or more. I think this P-Line is, I want to say 12 to 15, give or take. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what it is. This is 15 pounds. This is what I got spooled on my Pro Qualifier right now, and I absolutely love it. Then another downside to this is that it is not very abrasion resistant. That's just not how fluorocarbon is made. If you want something that's abrasion resistant, mono is usually the way to go. Braid, if you rub it against objects or whatever, it's going to fray. So monos are going to be your go-to for that. We'll get into that next. All right, so next we're going to go into mono, and I do highly recommend Sufix Mono. Sufix makes some pretty good mono. I didn't have any luck with it on my bait caster, but that's just the nature of the beast. I do use this on my spinning reel. I use it for weightless plastic fishing because it sinks. Well, technically mono floats, but when you have a weightless plastic on the end, it's going to sink very slowly, and that's what the fish like. So I use my mono for weightless soft plastic fishing and things that and finesse fishing applications. So another downside to mono is that, unfortunately, if I can get some of this off here, mono has a lot of stretch, and when you're trying to break off, say, a hang up or something like that, it is very difficult to do. This has a lot of stretch. In some applications, stretch is good, but for the most part, it really isn't. And that's the big downside to mono. Also, mono really doesn't have like the castability that fluorocarbon does. Braid is a pretty good caster too. Fluorocarbon is really good, but mono just really isn't, unfortunately, especially for bait casters. I haven't had any problems with it with my spinning reel, but for bait casters, it's really not that good. And then next we have our high quality braid. I made this myself. So braid, it floats, and that's what you're going to want to use for topwater fishing, fishing heavy cover. It is fairly kind of abrasion resistant, not really. Braid will fray, unfortunately, but it is pretty tough. It is good for heavy cover, has no stretch, really good castability, and it floats, which is awesome for topwaters. And as you can see, braid doesn't have very much stretch. That's really good when it comes to frog fishing or something like that, because you're going to have to reel up that slack really quick to set the hook, and you really don't want a lot of stretch when you're topwater fishing. If you do, you're not going to get a good hook set, and everything's going to end up ugly. So I hope that gives you an insight onto different line types. There really is no winner, kind of. I like fluorocarbon a lot, but yeah, and mono sucks. But there are really no winners. honestly, it's just a matter of opinion, which one you like more, which one you like less. I don't really like mono, to be honest. Fluorocarbon is my favorite, but like I said, it is pretty expensive, and I know for a lot of you younger guys that fluorocarbon's not really going to be something that you can afford. If you want something that's virtually invisible, mono is probably going to be your way to go. And I've been using it for the last like 19 years of my life until I discovered fluorocarbon this last year. And thanks for watching the video, guys.